great friend behind me, back there in the red truck. We're gonna try to get some big panfish on the ice. We're pan fishing this week. We might do a little brown trout fishing. We might do a little pike fishing. We might even do a little tusk fishing. I haven't done much of that this year. Stay tuned. I think it's gonna be another awesome series. I'm super excited to get in there, get set up, and camp for anywhere from 4 days to 14 days. We'll see. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for all the support, guys. Really appreciate it when you hit that thumbs up or leave a comment. What's up, buddy? What do you think?
It's like a good place to camp.
Yeah, should be out of the north wind. I'll eat a little bit of east, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I think I'm only getting east one day.
You unloaded quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, it's pretty easy. Yep. This is a good one. I think that's the way it goes. First time actually sleeping on the ice in a little while. I can't believe I'm going to slush out here though.
No.
Like normally I have to set up on shore because I've been on wicked slush lakes.
I don't believe you'll slush up here.
No, this doesn't seem like a slush lake to me. I love it when the door pops out right where it should be. Beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm golden. There we go. Beautiful. Well, you haven't been in this one yet, have you?
No, I haven't. It's huge.
Yeah. Pretty good size.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically the other one was just right here, right?
Just one of these, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, we are set up. Really quick setup on the tent, the camp. I'll finish the fine tune details tonight. Got CJ here. You guys might recognize him from some of the previous Smash Fest episodes for crappies. One of my absolute favorite guys to panfish and crappie fish with, because he goes as hard as I do, if not harder, which is hard to believe. But we're on a pond right now that neither one of us have ever even been to before. You were just telling me first time ever.
First time. I've never stepped foot on this before. Like, this is all brand new to me. I don't even have an idea where to start.
Yeah, so we got navionics. We saw a stream that might come out into a flat, and there's 2 points or 1 point? 2 points?
One. There's another one over there.
Yeah, we got a point here, point there, and it looks like we have like a basin, and it looks like I could call this a cove. I could feel confident calling that a cove, and I could feel confident calling that a cove. So like basin, cove, 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 2 points. And we're gonna check like midway through the coves first, and with the live scope, and we should be able to look really far with that 34. First, we got to find out what we're in for depth. I didn't look on the navionics for depth, but
I think I saw around 14 to 15 feet
max. Oh, okay.
And then the basin, I think, is well over 30.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was expecting a decent amount just by the contour of the land, you know, having these higher mountains or hills coming down.
Yeah, so we got,
oh, there you go. Yeah,
38 feet is the deepest point.
Wow. Okay.
That'll hold crappie.
And is that around this corner?
Right in the middle.
Okay. Yep.
So,
yeah. So they could be lazy down in there, or
28 feet.
Is that this one?
Right out here.
Okay.
And then a nice flat out there. I've been finding they're in that 14, 20 foot range this year. So
let's go check. Let's
yeah.
Let's go out like 100 yards in the middle here and poke her down and look around.
Look around.
All right, let's go, guys. You got anything?
No.
I can see you, Jake. See me now?
Yeah.
You didn't see where that fish went, did you?
Nope.
Shoot.
Not towards me.
Almost. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's big. This is either a bass or a cusk. This is long. Oh, he turned.
He's just like, you're right on the edge of my screen.
He is not a crappie. This looks bassy. Or cusky. Or brown trout, actually. Whatever this one was, definitely long. It's 2 foot long.
I wouldn't mind seeing you catch a big cusk.
I'd love to. Here comes something on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Looks like a school of perch coming in.
See, it looks like one fish. I can just see a piece.
Two good sized fish. These gotta be bass.
Oh,
Got it, whatever it is.
yeah, I saw it.
When I dropped it, I think it's a bass. Probably gonna break me off. Might break me off. It'd be awesome if this is a cusk, but I'm pretty sure it's a bass by the way the two together came in. That can't be it. Yeah. All right. Feels like a decent bass. I don't know how much I want to tighten this drag. Ate like a bass, look like a bass. Everything's a bass unless it's a cusk. I'm kind of muscling them a little bit.
Oh, that's pretty good leader.
Yeah, gotta be. But I'm down to like a 3 pound test down there, so I just want to get a look at him in case he does pop me. Yep. Oh, nice bass.
Yeah, that's a big live.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool on a crappie jig right there. Look at this. Watch this hook. It was hardly even in him.
That's why you don't give him slack.
No, exactly. Yeah. Now look at the top of his lip from driving into the rocks. See it? It's almost like pushed in from feeding on the rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
So this must be a rocky shoal, this edge.
Yeah.
But yeah, he pretty good bass right there. All right, we'll take him. Do you think that might have been a bass that hit you?
Could have been.
Yeah. Because there was two there. There was one looking at me. He came in, the other one got mad and tried to chase him off. And he kind of just eyed it, and then I hit. One trick you could do to bass is drop it to the bottom, like in the mud, and it drives them nuts.
Yeah.
Other fish I don't drop under them, but a bass I will. Because if they think it's going to get away in the mud or in the rocks, they usually get pretty active. So hard to say if they're there because there's so much junk on the bottom. They're definitely not off the bottom. All right, I see you. Yeah, you're right where they were. They ain't sticking around much, are they?
No.
I see one now. 20 feet away out off the bottom. I mean off the hump. I could try for him. But he just went right back down mud. Huh. Nothing? I'll put this one forward and look from here.
That was a pretty good little spool, too.
Wow.
Seeing them?
Nothing.
Where do they go?
I don't even see him at 100. That's scary. Nothing under you. I see you. getting ready for dinner tonight. I got the wood stove going over there. Got the Coleman oven on top of the wood stove. Looks like it's heated up a little bit over 300. Tonight we're gonna have something I've never had before on the ice, or never made before at least on the ice. We're gonna go ahead and make some pizza and eat some pizza for dinner. So I don't have a stone for that little oven or a small pan, so we're just gonna make one out of this tin foil, something to support the pizza and pizza dough. Like a little triple. So that's going to be our pan. That's a little big, so I got to go a little smaller than that with the pizza. We got a dough here from the Portland Pie Company. This is their basil. This is their basil dough. So obviously we're not going to use the whole thing. Even when I make these at home, I don't use the whole thing. I usually use half and make like a thin crust pizza. So we'll probably take like a third off this bowl. A little sticky for some reason. There we go. Geez, that might even be a little too much. Yeah, that was a little bit under half. Man, it's sticky. Stretching the dough to whatever thickness or thinness that you like. I like a thin crust. I like a Neapolitan pizza the best. So we'll make it semi-thin. There's not a whole lot of room to work with, so we can't make it too thin. Or we might as well just put a potato chip on there. And for TV, we'll fling it up like that. Yep, that'll get a couple people to hit the subscribe button. Just kind of work it evenly from the inside out. If you get a hole, you can kind of repair it. Don't want holes. There's a hole in there. You don't want that hole, so I'm going to kind of fold it and repair it and roll it back on itself. This dough is a little bit of a pain in the neck to work with today for some reason. Alright. There, I like to make them look like somewhere between a stop and a yield sign. You can stretch it when you get it here. I'm looking at my oven to see how much room I have in there. I think it's about a 10-inch oven. Looks like a 10 by 10 in there, so I'm going to try to max it out as much as possible. Get my final shape and size on here. When I trapped beaver with Skip, who's a retired game warden, he was an awesome trapper, really good beaver trapper, and he also took a lot of pride in the fur and the whole trapping game. I was really good at catching beaver, but I wasn't very good at stretching them. I was really good at skinning them, fleshing them, catching them, but not good at stretching them. Beaver are stretched open skin, and they're stretched like a pizza, or a little bit oblong, kind of round. And I would make them, and Skip used to tell me some of them look like stop signs, some look like yield signs. So we made a deal that he would do all the stretching, and I would do all the skinning and the fleshing. You know, and a lot of people would jump at that deal to be on the stretching side rather than the skinning and the fleshing, because that's where all the work is, and most of the work is in beaver trapping, but I didn't mind one bit. All right, so there's this is actually the pizza sauce I like the best, or the company. The basil's my favorite one, and they put, this is made in Vermont, and they actually put maple syrup in there. So I hope they put it in this flavor too. Let's see if they do. Oh, I don't see it in this one. Shoot. Well, one of theirs that this brand makes, they actually put some maple syrup in it, and I think it's the one they call basil. Yeah, that's not bad. No utensils. So we're going no utensils tonight, just a knife. When you're camping, you can get away with stuff like this. I washed my hands a couple days ago. Yeah. All right, toppings on this thing. Let's we're gonna put the cheese to it. This is a blend. 4 different cheeses for pizza. Mostly mozzarella. We'll get that on there evenly. The oven was at about 300 last I looked. I'm hoping it's still climbing. I mean, ideal is like 5 to 900, but I don't think we're going to get that to 500 tonight. I didn't bring a lot of wood. I didn't bring a lot of dry hardwood, so if we could keep it in the 300 range, that's good. And if I can't keep it hot enough on the wood stove, I'll bring it over here and put it on the propane. Then I know we can get it hot enough. And for toppings on this, we are going to let's put some mushrooms and some green peppers on it. Have a veggie pizza tonight. I don't know where my pepperoni is. Might be in there. Oh, you know what? Before we put those on, definitely got to get the spices on there. Yeah, nothing wrong with pepper. Give it a little taste. Gotta have at least basil and oregano. Nice, there's the oregano. Gotta have oregano. Absolutely love oregano. And you gotta have some basil on there, some nice sweet basil. Don't go shy on the basil. Alright, we got basil, oregano, then you want to put your toppings on after that, so that way they're not covered up with dried spices, and the spices can get into the cheese and into the sauce and kind of make everything taste good. Alright, that should be good. Mushrooms. Put a little green pepper on there. Whoa. What was that? That's good. Alright, let's hope that doesn't stick too much to the tin foil. And it looks like we are ready to go. Roll these up so I got something to grab onto. We'll put that in the oven. Hopefully it fits. Hopefully the oven stayed hot. We are at, looks like we're a little under 300 degrees, so I better get this thing a little warmer, but we can put it in now. Nice. All right. A lot of little tiny tweaks on that wood stove to get it to the perfect temperature and the perfect speed in burning. So it's, you mess with the damper a little bit, maybe 3/4, maybe 60% open or closed, and then the front damper too, that allows the airflow in there. You can open that up, and the more this is open, the faster it's going to burn, as long as that's open over there too. The more that's open, the quicker your heat's going to leave, and the more the smoke's going to go out. So I want to get this thing ripping, so I'm going to, first off, I'm going to let it catch the fire, what I just threw in there. All right, let's give it a check. Been in there, oh, good 20 minutes. We are up over 300 degrees. It's pretty warm in here too. Looking good. Top is definitely done. Looks pretty good. If the crust isn't quite done, I think I can just finish it on the stovetop. Let's try it. Oh yeah, it feels done. Looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? I'm excited about that. All right. I knew that dough was sticky when I put it on there. I should have sprayed her down or greased it. Ooh, tear through there. There we go. Looking great. Got that one little hole over there. I'll worry about that later. Oh yeah, looking great. Looks like it's going to be nice and crunchy. Nice and crispy crust. Beautiful. What do you think, guys? Does that look pretty good? I think I'm about to burn the roof of my mouth here in a second. I'm going to try a small piece. I might have gone a little too thick on that dough, but it looks like it's cooked all the way through. Kind of crispy on the bottom. That's pretty good for camp food. Wow. Yeah, that's edible. That'll definitely fill the void. All right, we got lunch tomorrow. Sweet. That was good. That sauce was good. I've been super happy with anything from this family of sauce makers called Boves. That's the first traditional I've had yet. Like I said, the basil used to have some maple syrup in it, which was nice. Yeah, that's nice. Garlic, onions, a little hint of oregano. I remember I used to work in Vermont right where that's made. I grew up working on a dairy farm. It's the greatest thing, one of the greatest things to ever happen to me. Working for Wayne and Barbara Cunningham. And they had a awesome farm. We milked anywhere from 50 to 90 cows. Most of the time right in the 80s. 80 cows. And, you know, a couple hundred herd on the farm. And it was a full-time job. I grew up, I remember through high school, through grade school, high school, and college, that's where I worked. And I got to the point where I was working 109 hours a week and loving every minute of it. Couldn't get enough of it. I think we'd start milking around 4:30. I'd get there at 4, do the chores, we'd milk. And then as soon as milking was done, we'd do the chores that were clean up and feed out. And then we'd get right into the haying. Summertime, especially spring, summer, and fall, we'd get right into haying to produce enough food for them for the winter, too, to supplement the grain. And it was long, hard days, and you had to get that haying done, and whatever repairs you had to do, or mechanic work, or whatever it took, you had to have that done, and the hay put away most times before night milking, which was, you know, around 5, I guess. It changed a little bit. And boy, you couldn't be late, or the cows would let you know. They were on a pretty strict schedule biologically, and, you know, they got real upset if you were late at all. You know, so if you were just about done haying, you better finish quick. But long story, to get to Vermont from Maine, where I lived, you know, that's where I farmed and lived, worked on the farm, was in Maine. And then Wayne sold the cows one year. Cows just went through the roof, dairy cows. And he sold the herd, was thinking about retiring for the first time. He was on the Michael Jordan retirement plan of, I think, 4 or 5 times. And he sold the herd to Vermont, a family from Vermont. It had, I think the father was really successful. And then he had 2 sons that he kind of passed it down to. And they offered me a job. And I needed a job, something to do, and sounded like quite an experience and an adventure for me. So they offered me a job driving truck, because it was their busy time of the year. They were chopping 3,800 acres of corn silage, and they were chopping 3,800 acres of soy or barley. I can't remember. But anyway, so they offered me a job driving truck for them, because the farms were scattered all through Vermont and into New Hampshire. I think Lancaster, New Hampshire was the southernmost, and the northernmost was at Derby Line. It was the Nelson Farms. And I really didn't know anything about driving truck, but I was always eager and quick to learn. So I remember it was first day, they put me in a 10-wheeler, an old Mack 10-wheeler, and filled me right up. They had a 12-row chopper that could shoot 140 to 170 miles per hour out of the chopper head, and you'd drive next to them in a field, and the chopper spout would shoot into the back of your truck. So you had to do a good job driving to stay right next to that chopper so you could chop at the correct speed. And I don't know if they were hazing me. I don't know if it was a mistake. I still don't know to this day. It was probably hazing me, but they had it rigged so all you had to do was dump the load, and there was a chain. The tailgate was chained off on the top, so I guess to the frame, so the tailgate would lift as you dumped. So you didn't have to get out and pull a lever, or they didn't have hydraulic tailgates either. And I remember the very first load I went to dump, full load. I got that baby up, and right when she got about to here at the tipping point, the front tires came off the ground. Next thing I knew, I was staring at the moon, and that thing was sitting right on its tailgate. The whole load, truck and all, pointing straight up, and I'm holding on like this, staring at the moon. I remember they got on the radios. There was all sorts of chatter. Don't let it down fast or whatever. They didn't want the truck crashing down, breaking the frame or popping the motor out or whatever would happen. So I remember they had to come over with the excavator and slowly let it down or hold it back up to let it down. Then I remember they did adjust the chain on that tailgate and got it just right. So to this day, I don't know if they were hazing the new guy, having fun, or they were testing me out, or if it was just an honest mistake where we had to learn, you know, where to tie off that tailgate to. But it was a lot of fun, and it was a heck of a job. I ended up doing that for the whole harvest season until October 1st, and no matter what, I told them before I even took the job, I'm giving you my October 1st warning, because October 1st I was in the woods preparing my trap line, which usually started October 20th for early fox and coyote, and then everything was in play starting November 1st in Maine. I did that job for a while, then they offered me a heck of a job to come back and milk for them. It was a good job. It was housing, it was money, and had some benefits too. And it was the most money I'd ever had thrown at me. And I had to milk 605 cows, and it was 10-hour milkings. So you'd milk for 10 hours and sanitize and clean up for 4 hours, and then somebody else would come in and do the rest. I came in as the swing man, so I had to work, I guess, 2 or 3 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row, and then I got 2 days off in a row to recover. And then I'd do 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 nights. It was kind of a weird schedule. It was weird working nights, you know, and I was young, so I could handle it. But 605 cows, and I didn't last very long, I'll tell you that. It was nice having, you know, my own place to stay for the first time ever, and, you know, living alone, and the money was good, but I did not like the way they treated those animals. And they couldn't pay me enough after I saw that. You know, they told me, you know, I said, what am I supposed to do with a downer or a sick one, or, you know, one that needs some medical attention, and I'd pull it out of they said pull it out of the herd, bring it to sick bay, and I'd pull one out, and sure as heck the next day. Let's give that coffee a try. Oh wow, that's good. Strong. It's got a lot of taste to it. I guess I don't need as many grinds next time. That's good though. Nice.